hotels are now under the food safety scanner after a major inspection drive by the Karnataka Food Safety and Drug Administration uncovered a string of violations. Now, officials in Karnataka inspected 26 three-star and five-star hotels and seized or destroyed large quantities of food that were either expired or improperly stored. Reports indicate the biggest recovery came from the Radisson Blu Eatery on Palace Road, where officials discovered 105 kilos of expired food, including 50 kilos of chicken, 25 kgs of meat, and 23 kilograms of fish, not to forget 7 kilos of rotting vegetables. At the Lalit Ashok Bangalore, located in the northern part of the city, officials also found 32 liters of expired milk and large quantities of meat and vegetables. Now, the inspections have also flagged fungal growth in vegetables, unhygienic storage conditions, and inadequate segregation of vegetarian and meat. Now, food samples have been sent for the laboratory testing, while notices and further proceedings have been initiated against violators across these hospitality establishments. But the crackdown raises a larger question for Bengaluru's hospitality industry, and that is whether premium pricing and star ratings are in fact actually translating into premium food safety standards, and whether routine inspections perhaps need to become just a bit more stringent. So joining us on the show to discuss this story in detail is Mahesh Reddy, co-founder and CEO at Go Pizza India. Mahesh, thank you so much firstly for joining us on the bulletin today. You know, Mahesh, the fact is that multiple diners and food connoisseurs and guests actually visit premium dining establishment, let alone star hotels, premium fine dine establishments, standalone restaurants as well, with the belief that the premium experience actually brings them premium quality. But clearly, at these raids that we've seen across the weekend in Bengaluru, that may not necessarily be the case. Is this perhaps the hospitality or the F&B establishment and industry's worst kept secret, that a lot of this money actually goes towards, well, abysmal quality, so to speak? Mahesh, am I audible to you, Mahesh?
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
I don't know if you heard my question there. The
Please
fact is
repeat.
that when diners go to these restaurants, they expect a certain degree of quality, but clearly these raids, you know, over the weekend in Bengaluru point to the opposite. Is this a case of food standards on the safety front being abysmal, to say the least?
No, I believe audits and inspections are the daily routine of the food and safety departments or from part of the government. In fact, every quarterly, at least once or twice, we see across randomly they do the audits across everywhere. I feel media has been more focused towards this audit, especially because it's been done at five-star hotels or at a UBCT, at a big restaurants. But audits are regular part and parcel of this, and it has to be also because shelf life, the quality has to be maintained across everywhere. So as you said, ratings is the game plan behind this part. But I believe customers rate on the basis of the quality of the product what they get it, and I feel we believe from the food industry that audits have to be and inspections have to be regularly done, checked internally also, and from the department of the government of the department also.
Right. I'm also being told we're joined by Mr. Pradeep Chakraborty, former director at FSSAI. So thank you firstly for joining us on the bulletin today. How surprised or shocked are you at those findings from Bengaluru over the weekend, Mr. Chakraborty? Surely a haul like this and seizures like this, I mean, 106 kilograms of rotten meat at just one establishment alone. Is this par for the course, or are we seeing food safety and quality standards hit a whole new low going by some of these numbers that we're witnessing from Bengaluru? Mr. Pradeep Chakraborty.
It is the responsibility of the food business operator, in this case, hotel restaurants, to ensure that food is safe and no expired food is used for preparation of food products. But it is really surprising and shocking that five-star hotels and seven-star deluxe hotels also are using this expired food products for making other food products. It's really shocking. And as per our FSS regulations, every 6 months, third-party food safety audit agency is there. So they must get it checked at least once in 6 months. But even in addition to that, it is the responsibility of the quality control team of the five-star hotels or seven-star hotels to ensure that food is safe. But in this case, it is really shocking. But if FSSI also always keep the hygiene and sanitation above of these five-star restaurants and hotels above other establishments, because our preliminary observation is that the hygiene and sanitation is better than any street food vendors. But it is really shocking that they are at the same level as street food vendors also. In fact, less
Right.
than the hygiene and sanitation level maintained by the street food vendors. It is really shocking. And stern action
Right.
should be
No,
taken.
absolutely.
Stern action should be taken.
And in fact, I was coming to just that, Mr. Chakrabarti. Surely both, you and Mahesh are both saying that, more stringent checks should be done, more stringent audits should be done, and I'm completely on board with you. But now that, what we've seen is a haul, along these lines in this magnitude, what should the penalties be like? Because the fact is, a lot of customers are paying top buck to eat at some of these premium establishments. And let's remember, a five-star hotel food bill comes to anywhere between 5,000 to 15,000 rupees for a single meal. But when seizures and what you unearth at such raids is rotting food to the magnitude that we've seen, surely the penalties must also be quite severe. What, in your opinion, should these penalties be after raids along these lines? Mr. Chakrabarti.
Yeah, penalty actually has been provided in section 59 for punishment for unsafe food. And there are three categories. When the contravention does not result in injury, imprisonment up to 6 months and fine up to 1 lakh rupees. And where a contravention results in a non-grievous injury, in that case, actually imprisonment up to 1 year and fine up to 3 lakh rupees. And where failure results in a grievous injury, imprisonment up to 6 years and fine up to 5 lakh rupees. This is as per FSS Act 2006, Section 59. So that is there. So they must be penalized, and unless imprisonment is done, they will not rectify themselves.
Absolutely. Stringent punishment, then up to imprisonment. That should surely be one of the ways that we look at doing this so as to ensure that it does not repeat, especially at premium properties. But Mahesh, bringing you back in on the discourse. Now, listen, the fact is that across these establishments, customers actually go trusting the brand to actually have a decent experience, both in terms of ambience and certainly food quality and safety standards as well. But, for the customer itself, before actually going about making an informed decision as to whether or not to eat out, and if yes, to actually eat at an establishment deemed trustworthy, what do you think customers can do? Surely now with seizures like this and with numbers like this emerging, everyone's thoughts are not so much what's only on my plate, but also what's going on behind the kitchen that leads to what's put on my plate. What should customers keep in mind going forward while choosing to eat out?
Customer, it's our duty from the F&B industry that we have to ensure all the procedures and the protocols have been maintained at all the outlets. Coming to the customers, I'm sure for the protein, the calories, the temperature of the heating, all these are being informed in the menu cards, and this helps the customers to know about each brand, which brand, and why the brand is charging high to ensure the safety process has been taken care.
But Mahesh, surely calorie counts and the protein that's on the menu and the brand serving these dishes simply aren't enough. You saw names like the Lalit, you saw names like the Shangri-La, names like Radisson on the list of hotels that saw raids and saw seizures. Clearly brands aren't doing it, Mahesh. What else do you think customers should keep in mind before making an informed decision as to whether or not to eat out first and then where to go to eat out? How can trust be built when what we're seeing is seizures of this nature?
No, I'm sure the names, what you mentioned about the five-star hotels, it's the inspection which has been done. There have been few of the brands or the hotels where the the expired products were found. It's not in across all the places, and they've been sent to the lab for the testing and to confirm on the expiry and the temperatures of the products. Now, coming to the customer's point of it, I'm sure every five-star hotel will follow and should follow all the protocols and to ensure safety of the food.
Well, one can only hope, and one can only hope that things get better and that more stringent action is enforced across these properties, be it standalone or premium properties. But on that note, Mr. Pradeep Chakraborty, Mahesh Reddy, thank you so much for joining us on this discourse. Some shocking numbers and names coming out there from Bengaluru insofar as those weekend raids are concerned. One only wonders how far deep that rot runs and whether or not other hotels could well be as complicit in their food storage. But thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us in South Central today. Moving on, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Vijay's attempt to build a united political front against delimitation has hit a roadblock. 37 of the state's 57 MPs in Tamil Nadu stayed away from the TVK's all-party meeting convened by the Chief Minister, with the DMK and the AIADMK among those parties boycotting it. In fact, the 20-odd MPs who ended up attending that all-party meeting, included those from the Congress, the VCK, the CPI, CPIM, MDMK and the IUML, unanimously opposed the proposed delimitation exercise and backed retaining the Lok Sabha's existing 543-seat strength. Now, the boycott highlights the political divisions in Tamil Nadu, even as the state seeks a common position on an issue that could potentially alter its parliamentary representation. Moving on, but staying with Tamil Nadu, the state's Legislative Assembly has unanimously passed a resolution making the Tamil Thai Varthu mandatory as the first song to be sung at all official and institutional events across the state. The move comes after controversy prevailed over the protocol at Chief Minister Vijay's swearing-in ceremony, where Vande Mataram was sung before the Tamil Thai Varthu. The sequence drew criticism from Tamil parties, which argued that the state song has always traditionally been rendered at the beginning of all government-conducted official functions. The Tamil Thai Varthu, remember, was accorded state song status in 2021, and today's resolution seeks to firmly establish its place at the start of all official events across Tamil Nadu. Moving on, Karnataka has completed 100% digitization of voter enumeration forms under the ongoing special intensive revision covering 5.54 crore electors. But the state has also flagged that 1.09 crore voters, that's 19.69% of the electorate, under the ASDDO category of absent, shifted, dead or duplicate voters. Of this, the biggest chunk is 65.86 lakh voters, or 11.88%, marked as permanently shifted, followed by 16.36 lakh listed as dead and 15.66 lakh as absent or untraceable, not to mention 6.92 lakh as duplicate or already enrolled elsewhere. Another 4.2 lakh voters fall under the other, or simply include voters unwilling to sign their SIR forms. Now, voters have until the 17th of August to verify their ASDDO status before draft rolls are published. On that note, we'll slip into a short break, but South Central will be back on the other side, so keep staying tuned to ET Now. You're watching South Central with me, Jude Sanath. Moving on from building drones for agriculture and industrial applications to now preparing to take the company public, Chennai-based Garuda Aerospace is entering a new phase in its journey. In fact, the drone tech company has received SEBI's final observation for its proposed IPO, which will comprise a fresh issue of up to 750 crore rupees along with an offer for sale component. The IPO comes at a time when investor interest in India's new age tech companies is being tested on fundamentals, profitability, and the ability to scale sustainably. So what does the public markets opportunity mean for Garuda? And how does the company plan to deploy the IPO proceeds? And what is the next big growth engine for India's drone industry? To bring us up to speed with all this is Agnishwar Jaiprakash, founder and CEO of Garuda Aerospace. Agni, thank you so much for speaking to us in South Central today. My first question to you, you're taking Garuda public at a time when investors are demanding so much from new age tech companies. So tell me, what is the biggest misconception about Garuda's business, or what would you like to tell the market that you want public market investors to really understand about the company?
Firstly, thank you so much, Jude. You've always been, a huge believer in Garuda Aerospace. You've done stories on us for the last 3 years, so appreciate that. It's a very amazing time for the drone industry. As you know, right from after COVID, there has been a forcible adoption of drone technology in all sectors, be it in agriculture, in Industry 4.0, and of course, with all the global conflicts into defense. And I believe that Garuda has been making rapid strides ever since our Honorable Prime Minister launched 100 of our drones in 100 villages. This fueled a rapid, I'd say, transformation of the drone industry. We started to see like multiple government departments, like, Garuda has served over 500 different clients, both government as well as private, seen operations in agriculture, in mining, in large scale mapping, structural damage assessment, firefighting, warehouse management, project monitoring, you name it. So, the use cases of these drones, especially with the advent of AI, has seen tremendous amount of potential where you're able to add a lot of value for clients, be it in terms of increasing efficiency or reducing expenditures. I believe that that is the key driver, and the misconception of drones is that it's used mostly for your hobby flying purposes, marriages, events, photography in the IPL, or the other end of the spectrum, you just see it in the defense space for surveillance. Even in defense, you're seeing use cases of drones transcending from merely surveillance into loitering munitions,
Right.
landmine detection and diffusement. You're seeing it in swarm formation, anti-drone, counter-drone systems, tethered drones, drones that
Right.
can fire rockets, drones that are used for kamikaze purposes,
No,
drones that can be
Agni,
used.
I'm glad you bring that up. I think it's important that the market actually understands that there's so much more to a drone that merely, like you mentioned, was hobby flying. So surely drones have applications far and wide. But let's talk money for a bit, Agni. You're looking to raise up to 750 crore rupees through the fresh issue. How exactly will that capital be deployed, and how much of it will go towards R&D versus actual manufacturing and capacity expansion?
Any deep tech company, Jude, as you know, requires a lot of funds, especially in terms of new product development, catching up to global standards, ensuring that your products are certified at the highest level, not just in India, but globally. Garuda started to bag export orders. We've started to export to Africa. We've started our new subsidiary in the US and in the UK. We have global partners like Lockheed Martin, Thales, Airbus. So we feel that a lot of the funds that we are intending to raise would go into R&D, new product development, and getting it to a TRL readiness 6, 7, and above. Because we feel that the pace at which the drones have been evolving and the drone doctrine, especially in warfare, it's no longer you have 2 years, 3 years to develop and enhance your drones. You have 6 weeks to at most 6 months to make sure that your product is ready to be deployed. So I believe that speed is going to be a huge factor in terms of how we utilize our funds. And I believe most of our funds is going to go into new product development and R&D to enhance our drone fleet from about 44 different types of drones to 120 different drone platforms, serving both unmanned aerial vehicles, unmanned ground vehicles, as well as unmanned water vehicles as well.
Right. Well, like you mentioned, Agni, speed is time in the drone industry. No two ways about that. Now, in the time that I've known you, Agni, you at Garuda have actually moved beyond agricultural drones well into defense and surveillance and industrial applications. But as you begin this journey to go public, where do you see the biggest revenue opportunities over the next 3 to 5 years? Is it more defense or commercial applications?
Absolutely more defense, and I think that pivot has been strongly made. Last year, we had the Honorable Minister for State of Defense, Sanjay Sethi, launch and unveil our defense manufacturing facility. We've been focusing a lot on indigenization. We've bagged a very large defense order for the delivery of 2,000 drones, out of which 400 have been already delivered. We have been experimenting and developing platforms along with global partners like Airbus, and trying to integrate a lot of technologies and parts and components from a lot of prime suppliers globally. Obviously they would also need companies like us if they have to compete in India. So it's a win-win solution, and I
Right.
believe that the sort of the advancements that the drone industry has seen, and also the manner
Right.
in which the defense budget has ballooned up from 2,000 crores last year in terms of defense spending in terms of drones to over 20,000 crores allocated for this year. It's a 10x increase, and there are
Right.
very limited companies that are actually capable. Garuda has recently expanded our
Right.
manufacturing facility to 70,000 square feet
Right.
plus, and that's going to be a huge, I'd say, an advantage for us. And I believe that these are ways and means how the evolution of the drone sector is moving towards
Right.
defense. But at the same time, we are, always going to keep stoves burning in the agriculture where we have a 30% market dominance. We have first movers advantage
Absolutely.
in a lot of these industrial segments where even Elon Musk had appreciated our solar panel inspection and cleaning drones. So we're going to keep stoves burning in all of those segments as well.
Well, like they say, Agni, the skies are yours in the drone industry, and the potential is endless. But on that note, thank you so much for joining us on South Central and breaking down some of these key numbers for us. Lots to note and learn there in terms of the drone industry. So thanks a lot again for joining us on the show today.
Thanks a lot, Joe.
Moving on, Hyderabad has emerged as India's highest value housing market, with residential properties worth 4.78 lakh crore rupees sold between 2021 and 2025, marginally ahead of even Mumbai, which stands at about 4.52 lakh crore rupees. In fact, Bengaluru stood third at about 3.92 lakh crore. The data from CRE Matrix shows that Hyderabad's market is increasingly moving upmarket, with homes above 1 crore rupees gaining share and strong demand for 3 BHK and 4 BHK apartments, particularly across the western corridor. But rising prices, remember, are also putting pressure on affordability for middle class and first-time buyers, even as Hyderabad is making a move towards premium. And on that note, it's a wrap on South Central today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back soon with more news and updates. But for the moment, it's goodbye from us.